Hello, everyone, again. Listen, thank you so much for listening and watching the 10-minute Bible lesson. And probably if you've been following us, you know we've been quite a while in Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. In fact, I think this one right here, this lesson is number 22. That's quite a bit, isn't it? So we appreciate that. So we're in Matthew chapter 7, which is the last chapter of the Sermon on the Mount. And we've made it down to verse 6. Now, verse 6 is a strange verse, or at least I think it is. So why don't I go ahead and read it and see if you agree with me. So this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. And these are the words of Jesus. This is what Jesus said. He said, "Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and tear you in pieces." I mean, that's quite a verse, isn't it? I mean, this is so interesting. So I think what Jesus is teaching us here is that things of great value have no business under the feet of swine. And why would anyone give their pearls or give things that are holy or sacred to the dogs? I mean, I just don't think we would do that. In fact, I actually think that Jesus is using this illustration of pigs and dogs, and they're really related to people. And why would I say that? Because I think that some people, when it comes to things that are sacred, and when it comes to things that are holy, they consider those things worthless. And not only that, but you wouldn't want to give, really precious, valuable spiritual information to a person who considers it, who looks upon it with contempt and scorn. You just wouldn't want to do that thing. That you wouldn't want to do such a thing as that. In other words, you wouldn't want to share things that are spiritually precious with those kind of people. And I think that's what Jesus is talking about. In fact, you know, I thought it was interesting that how Jesus worded this. He says, "Don't cast your pearls before swine. They'll trample them under their feet." That's how they feel about them. And not only that, but he said something else. He says, "and tear you in pieces." Now, I thought that was really interesting. I was a little bit, I don't know, say befuddled about this verse because I didn't think it had, it didn't really pertain to the verses before or the verses after. But I still think it's a great verse. Well, now let's go ahead and read verses 7 and 8. So Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. Now this is quite a verse. "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be open." Now, these are a couple of the most amazing verses in the whole Bible. At least I think they are. What sort of person could make such an offer as this? I mean, it's just amazing to me. Who in the world or out of the world has the ability to give to anyone the things they ask for? Or cause anyone who is seeking something to find what they're seeking after? Who could do that? Or to open the door that's just closed to us? Who in the world could do that? What kind of a person is Jesus anyway? Well, I think his apostles and his disciples figured it out after they had been with him for a while, especially when they saw him walk on water. And when they saw him speak to the wind and to the sea and tell it to be still and to be calm. Listen, who is this person? This is none other than God in the flesh. That's who that is. So now I want to make sure that you understand God won't give us help to find. God won't give us things that we ask for. He won't help us to find things, and He won't open the door for us if it's something bad or evil. So let me just say this, don't bother asking for those things, because God will not do anything that's harmful or sinful. Now, why wouldn't He do that? It's simply because of this, because He's good, and He's holy, and He's righteous, and He would never do anything that contradicts the person that He is or His character. So I think it's really interesting that this offer is made. We have to say this and ask the question. I may have asked this question. This is too good to be true. Is it? And you know what? In some ways, when I ask that question and when I think about that, it's actually a statement about who I think Jesus is. And I think maybe the reason that I might doubt that is because my expectations and my belief in Him is not as high as it should be. So I think that's an interesting thing. Remember this, that Jesus never lies, and also remember that He has it within His power to provide these things. So let me just make this suggestion before you dismiss this verse, and many people do. I would just say this, try it and see. Try it and see. So let's look at the next verse, next two verses. Now this is in Matthew 7, verses 9 and 11, and they go along with the last two verses. And here's what else Jesus said. He says, or what man is there among you, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone, or if he asks for a fish, will give him a serpent? Or if you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven, your Father who is in heaven, give good things to those who ask Him? Now this verse is kind of explaining what I just talked about, how we view God and how we see God. And I think Jesus is wanting us to see God in this life. Now we know that fathers on earth want to give good things to their children. They do that. So why wouldn't God do that? I think that's a good question. Certainly, is He less than we are? Of course He's not. So we have to believe about this person God, that He loves us, that He cares for us, and that He actually desires to give us good things. Now, if we don't believe that's true, then we're just mistaken. We have a mistaken viewpoint about who God is and what God is. So is God better than us? Of course God is better than us. That's a ridiculous thing to even ask. There's such a great and vast difference between God and us. So He's good and we're evil. In comparison, we're evil, and even without the comparison, we're evil. So what would God do? He would give us good things, even better things than a loving earthly father would do. So I would just say, ask Him and receive from Him. Seek Him and seek what this is, and see if He won't cause you to find it, and go ahead and knock and see if He won't open the door. Isn't this a great verse? I think it's so encouraging. And we're just kind of really liking these verses and these things that Jesus is saying. And we appreciate you taking the time to tune in and watch our 10-minute Bible lesson. And we appreciate that. Listen, we hope you'll continue to and encourage other people, encourage others to do so. So hope you have a really good week.